Sachidanand. Yesterday we did the Samayik of to see the for Vijay Kumar to see the files as absolutely flawless. I was able to see them nirdosh as flawless, and when the Samayik and at the end I also could see file 1 as flawless too. Is this not? But when I don't see file 1 as flawless, will my Purusharth not become weak? No. When it is faultless in this matter, it is surely faulty in some other matter. These are all layers in terms of the kashayas as they unfold, are they not? So you might say that file number 1 is flawless, but with respect to this particular effect, but okay, when you see the other person as flawless, and then your own flaws will also go away because you move into the realm of the self only. Next one, Jai Sachidan, Neela Desai. On page 35, Atma is Sat as well as Pudgal is Sat. Both are eternal. Atma is indestructible. Pudgal is also indestructible. As Parmanus, as subatomic particles, it is indestructible, and as situations and circumstances, it is destructible. Pudgal is destructible. As avasthas, as situations and circumstances, it is destructible. But as the original thing, as the subatomic particle, it is indestructible. It cannot be divided any further. Yes, when the original Parmanus are indestructible, that is all. I have one bhav. I want your speech to continue to flow, I want to continue to listen to it. Only when you ask that you will be able to hear. So you have to ask the questions. Then new things will continue to arise, you see. You have to ask the questions. So then you will get the continuous flow of this speech. Mahesh here. When I did the Samayik yesterday, Mahesh wants to be in a team where there is the least responsibility, so that there are less liabilities, and I want this kind of conduct to happen. And is that some kind of a subtle insistence? You just have to investigate it. If it doesn't happen according to that belief, will you be upset in your circles of seva? So then you should have the understand that it is never like this. It is never like the way you have planned it. It is all under the plan of Vyavasthit. We do not need to change our understanding. We need to simply see SCE as it unfolds, and we be the self and see the self and the SCE unfolding for the file 1 only. And if the other person, file 1, sees the other person at fault, then that is an error there in the seeing, is it not? And so, what about saying what is good for the self and not good for the self, the small SELF? No. This current satsang is about everybody is thinking, I want it my way, I want it my way. If it happens in this way, then it will be good for me. If it doesn't happen, it will be good. But this is part of the unfolding SCE only, and the real one who has the one who has improved is the one who never tries to improve anybody else. He just, as long as there is an attempt to improve the other person, one is in the wrong place altogether. You see, I do not need to improve even file 1 at all. I need to improve the way in which I am seeing file 1 only. I need to see how the way I improve the way I see it. Am I seeing it as separate, or am I seeing it as belonging to me? Next one. This is over now. A million namaskars to you, Deepakbhai. I wanted to understand the eternal nature of Pudgal. The original subatomic particles in the 6 eternal elements of the Pudgal, the original subatomic particles are eternal. They are indestructible. When they gather together, they get is called as Kant, and then there is Dravya of it, there is the matter. And then when it comes in contact with the self, then it becomes Vibhavik Pudgal, and it is destructible, you see. But the original subatomic particles of the Pudgal are indestructible, and they are eternal, and it's an eternal thing. But when coming contact with the self, it becomes Vibhavik, and therefore it attains a filling and emptying state. Can I already have uh, one statue of Simada Swami. Can I have another one? Sure, you can have another one. And then one who has known the self has known everything. But you see, this bliss should remain. But I do want to attain the clear and the distinct experience of the soul. But if you have a huge block of ice, but if you are in a heavy, if you are in heat outside, as you move towards the block of ice, will you not feel that there is something cold towards block even? And when you actually when because you feel the coolness, but when you can say yes, there is a less pressure of circumstance, would you not? When you have less pressures of circumstances, less pains in life, then you know that you're coming closer to the self. And then when you and that is called the indistinct and the unclear experience of the self, aspasht vedan of the self. And then when you actually touch and be the self, be the cold, be the and then when you touch it, then you will have the clear and the distinct experience of the soul, and then there will be kevad gnan or absolute self. Why don't you prove to me that there is the soul? How do you know that there is how do you know that the soul does not exist? Is there the soul in how does the soul tell me how it does not exist? I do not know. That is why I'm asking you. Prove to me that the soul is there. Have you received the answer or not? Dada says, and you have to come to the Gnani to know the soul. But why is it? Do you have the resolution or do you not have it? Yes, I know. Yes, do you know that you have received the Gnan? Are you aware of the one who has got the question? Are you the one who is having the question, or is it the one who is asking the question? The one who is asking the question, who is he? He is the separate, and who is not having, who is separate from the questioner? This is who you are. You are aware of the questioner, you see. You are aware of the one who is asking the question, but the knower is always separate. That is who you are. Nirum, and Niruma says that Kapil is going to have Keval Gnan, and when he finishes his work of seva, then he will get Keval Gnan. Niruma told me that I will get Keval Gnan. You just have to settle your work of seva complete. The Kapil has to finish his seva work, and then he will attain. And then, having received this magnificent dada, should you be bickering and fighting with anyone? You just finish all the files of this life, and you will come. Once you clear the files in this life, then you will come to the clear and distinct experience of self, and then you will go towards Lord Simandar. But do not ask for Kevad Gnan without clearing your files in this life. You see, don't try to take a shortcut. Next one, Smita Mehta, next one. Ritesh Savla and Moksha Pandya, these are the next two. In Prayogsha, Mishrasa and Vishrasa, there has been a lot of talk on it. On page 26 and 32 is already there. But there is lot of, but on page 32 there is one sentence there. As long as there are the subatomic particles of Prayogsha, there is the ability to change the speech. And on page 75, when the man has an intention to, then the subatomic particles get pulled in, and supposing there is an intention that I should curse him, I have to tell him all kinds of things. That intention can be changed. By through pratikraman you can change it, and therefore it will not carry forward in the next life. That is, Dada is not talking about effect speech. He is talking about causal speech only. On page 32, as long as there are the prayogs are permanent. What are you find out? It is the causal speech that you are trying to change, not the effective speech only. So, what is the effective speech? So, do we have? Are you talking about not? You can change the speech that is in the form of the seed. The speech that is in the form of the seed can be changed. That is the prayogsha speech. And then the next life you will have to do with the speech that was taped in this life only. The current causal speech can be changed. On the first day, you had said that as the Gnan rises, as the conduct will change. Yeah, you know. You see, the old stuff is discharging. That is why there is a seeming change in the conduct. The mango tree remains the mango tree. The bitter neem tree remains bitter. You see, and so whatever is in Mishrasa ready to give its fruit, it is expressing and it is only emptying. That is all. You see, and you see, because it is less than before, there is a sense that it is improving, but it is really just lessening, and because so in this Prayogsha means causal body, and Mishrasa means effective body. Just one, you cannot change that which is the effective body. Mishrasa cannot be changed. Only the causal body, Prayogsha, can be changed. You see, only the causes can be changed, but the effect cannot be changed. But we are beyond both of these, are we not? You see. You see, so when there is less force in discharge, you feel as if it's better, but it is not changing anything. So Mishrasa part is so in other words which is Mishrasa Prayogsha means that is only for the charge part. In the charge battery there is in the discharge battery there is only Mishrasa only, that is all. The two are totally separate. That is the causal body of this life is called Prayogsha, and it will give you the effective body, and that is called Mishrasa. It will become Mishrasa and give an effect, you see. So the causal body gives an effect in the next life, that is all. And but in this life, whatever this knowledge that we have, we can see that is part of the known, but the prakriti will remain as it is. The prakriti cannot be changed. If you see me, if you see your own, you will feel that the prakriti is same, but it is the change in you is the emptying of the stock of karma only. You see the if you are eating different food, you are not changing. The prakriti is not changing. The internal subatomic particles are changing. The pudgal is changing. In the emptying of the pudgal only. Now and then, therefore, but you see, the suffering is all dependent upon the awareness only. You see, you don't enter into this mixture. The prayogsha is of the last life, and the mishrasa is of this life. You see, but many times. Yes, so many times you say that after Gnan have you improved or not? Because there is a lessening the kashayas, that is an improvement. Decrease in the kashaya is the improvement, nothing else. You see, once the kashayas go away through the awareness of the jagruti, that is called improvement. That is all. And those echoes are felt by the other person. Let us now take the Samayik now, and we'll take the questions later on. You see, now we'll take questions later on. This morning we took this talk about the knot of sexuality. Now they will take the next major spiritual blockade, the knot of maan, pride. You see, when the pride is not fulfilled, then he becomes angry. Then he enters into deceit. When he doesn't get respected, he will employ deceit and manipulativeness. And as the deceit and the moh increases, he'll become a woman. And the subatomic particles of female will enter into him. So when he can totally destroy this knot of pride, to consider the other person inferior, to consider somebody else as superior, all of this is a knot of pride only. You see. And if somebody criticizes you, finds fault with what you have done, then you cannot stand it. You do not like it. You run away from him. These are all phases of the knot of pride within you only. Somebody will say, but you see, some people say, I don't have any issues of pride. But when you are afraid of being insulted, if afraid of being considered lower than others, afraid of being slighted, etc., slander, etc., that is only nothing but pride existing within you. When you hurt others because of your own pride or your own sense of the inflated self, then it is really an extension of this problem of the knot of pride within you. You see. And so when somebody does not do it according to the way you have said it, then you feel insulted. You said, I told her to do it and she didn't do it. Therefore, your pride, because you have entered into the authority of the pride rather than the authority of self. So understand the nature of maan, understand the nature of pride. We want to become lagutam. The opposite of maan is lagutam, lower than the lowest. When will it dissolve? When the one who is insulting you, that person appears to be beneficial to you. I need, whenever you are into pride, when somebody respects to you, place respect to you, it should bother you inside. When somebody is insulting you, you should be very grateful to that person. That is with that kind of awareness, and then find out who we are hurting in level 2 through because of our pride. I did something good, then who did it? Are you the only one who did it? So many people did this Aptavani in German. Why do you say that I did it? And so this is how it is, you see. So otherwise, you see, it extends when, sir, I will take care of him. I don't want him in this group of translators. I want him out, and all of these things, you see. And when they praise you, then you, of course, you appear, see him as flawless. You like him. You're one with him. You're in oneness with him. But you see, but the negativity can go into at a very subtle level through deception and manipulativeness by talking to one person in the absence of the other person. And all of this kind of stuff is all deception and attempts to get more pride and to really confirm our pride hunger only, and to confirm our, so the atkan of mind, atkan is the spiritual blockade of man, is very big. So if you see anybody inferior, if you see the fault of anyone, there must be some man, that is, you believe yourself to be over, you believe yourself to be nada. You see, it is a very big disease within. You see, when you are giving service to others, people will say, "Oh, you're doing so good seva, so therefore, you see, it feeds your ego." But there are five people who are giving the service, but you see, but if somebody criticizes you, what kind of service are you giving? Then you say, "Okay, we have this, I have so many things to do, I cannot attend it," and therefore you try to protect your mistake rather than saying that it is my man in operation, I am hurt. And you say, it is my, so I need to move away from Uber, I need to move away from Katya, and I need to come into the state of the self only. Let the ego burn, let the pride burn, let it all burn. Let the knot of pride totally dissolve, and thus we become without kashas. It is this kashais that throw us out of seva. You see, you want to serve others, but you see, it is your kashais that does not let you serve others. Especially somebody is doing it is a good thing. Your vision is focused on him only, and therefore you find errors in his work rather than finding out where the problem is with reference to the work not happening. If somebody is working below you in an organization capacity, if you see his mistakes, then that too is very wrong, and that is part of man only. There are so many. I am right, I am good, I am better, I am superior, I am able, I'm smart, I can understand, I can really share, etc. All of this of this man, there is clashes with other human beings, and therefore negativity arises. And so, and if supposing instead of saying yes, the other people will do it immediately or affected from inside. What the hell does he think? Who does he think? He is not recognizing my value. He doesn't understand. I will show it, I'll prove it to him in my own way that I can do it. And so the ego will take over and go and separate, and the ego intellect complex will move away from the one, from the relationship, and start his own independent path and role, you see. And so, you see, you have moved away from the other person's soul, and therefore you have moved away from your own soul, and you have only heavily fed the cancer of your own ego and pride only, and you have made him. But you see, the pratiti, the conviction that I am pure soul has been given to you through the grace of the Gnani Purush, but the kashais will have to be removed by your own Purusharth, progress of the self, through the visualization of the pride and the pride effects that arise within you, because otherwise you are continuously upset, your face is grouchy, you are non-communicative, you do not move nicely, you don't smile, you kind of isolate yourself, you see. And so the moment you, and then also whenever you've got some kind of authority, you are also worried about, oh, then you're trying to preserve your seat, that people will say that, oh no, you are always worried about, people will throw me away from what I have just received, and that is nothing but man only. But you see, with after me there will be some other human being, but I am the doer, and I want to continue to do this is the problem, you see. There are, if somebody You see, the ego, the nature breaks the ego that rises, the head that rises above. It wants to level everybody. The role of the nature is to level all egos. You see, the one who raises his head above others will get slashed off. And so we need to really, why don't we not become lagutam? Right? Why don't you understand the doer? Why that is, we have the bhavna. Yes, you can have the bhavna, but the bhavna becomes much more better in a service when the ego melts completely, and it melts through lagutam pad, very lower than the lowest in the relative, you see. And so let us do this. And we cannot adjust with the fellow human being. How can we adjust to the whole world, you see? We really need to adjust with the whole world, you see. How can we adjust? And you see, there is disadjustment and constant finding the faults with the other person. When if you go to the reception, the moment you say, come here, welcome, welcome. If somebody did forgot to tell you, welcome, welcome, sir, the middle one was not welcome, then he really feels upset that, he did not welcome me. He shook hands with the other, the fellow before me and the fellow after me, but did not shake hands with me. He is the, and so and then all of a sudden he comes, oh, you're here too. I'm so happy to see you, and brings an ice cream and serves you. Then you feel very good. And so in reception, in marriage, and wedding occasions, this is going on all the time. You see, the ego is constantly searching for feeding the hunger of pride. The hungry ego is hunger for the validation of the self only, small self. And you see, so whenever, if our negative shows the negative of anyone anywhere else, it is your own negative. If you see the negative of anyone, then it is your own negativity within, and that is your own pride in interaction, because you want to become over, you want to preserve your state as Katya or Nada, you see. And you see, and this cases, I did it, I'm the one who organized everything here in Germany, because then he becomes superior. The ego of superiority is such that he sees mistakes of everyone only. And he says, oh, you are so much beautiful work is doing. Do you think I am the only one who is doing it? Are you the only one who is doing it? It is a collective work. But you see, if you ask me, this is the way it should proceed. But the other ones that whatever do, this is the storm of the pride only. The whole day he is restless. All day he and his and he and you see the camel has got humpbacks. The camel has got but he cannot see his own humps, and he sees faults and humps in others only, you see. And because of the pride, then the intellect arises, and the intellect then perpetuates this whole problem. And the moment he's asked, he say, and first of all, the moment he's asked, he criticizes, he just shows 10 things that are wrong with it. So he bypasses it. So the other people's, because the moment we ask you, the first thing you show is the falsehood. Dadashri says, when Hirab asks, what vegetable should I got? Then I tell Hiraba, just whatever you like to bring it. What shall I get? Would you like brinjals? Would you like aubergines? Go ahead and bring aubergines. You see, but the critical thing is the violation of the first column of Dadashri. When you see, this is all on the basis of the clashes and the collisions, and the clashes and the collisions is because of pride only. When the knot of pride, which is the premier pride, you see, then when it this is, and Dada is in all our satsangs, we are giving you the medicine of maan only, and how to become free from pride only. It is your fault of pride that is really bothering you. And then you see, now because of pride hurt, then you see, you want to become free from the hurt effects of pride through knowledge application only. And you see, it is because, how can I become free from my own mistakes? Through by visualizing them, by saying them. Everybody understands this. There are two levels. We just need to the four steps. When we improve these two levels of pride and four steps, let us today we are confirming that we do not want to hurt anyone through our pride. We not a thing. When you stop hurting anyone because of your pride, then it is a very great attainment. And then you are only left with your own hurt only, and that you can deal with it internally by yourself. But hurting others because of your pride hunger is a tremendous. It is very bad, and it needs to be conquered, and it is a major achievement, and major internal energy will arise, and with that energy you will conquer the third level, which is where maan appears sweet to you, pride appears sweet to you, and it will no longer appear sweet to you. When somebody says, "Hi, we can't do without you," you will not be touched at all. You see, that is level 3. But first, it must stop hurting others. Then, number 2, you must stop feeling hurt because your pride was hurt. And when these two are overcome, the third step comes where no matter how much somebody respects you, you will not be find it sweet at all. You will not move in that directions, you see. And double A, double B are always in application over here because you see, this in five agnas is all